Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Tony. When with me today here is these guys.
It's me, John, as usual.
Uh, I forgot what my name on here is. I think it's Moon. So what's good?
It's good. It's Moon.
Your name can
Welcome
be
back to
whatever you want it to be.
It's your
Celestales.
boy
We're in
Moon.
the future, man.
It's your boy Moon back at it again with the white man.
Oh boy. Oh.
They don't know. The funny thing is, the people watching this don't know for white, black, Asian, whatever. So you just spoiled the mystery, my friend.
I'm not white.
We don't know that.
I'm Asian.
The world may never know.
Yeah, that's also a lie. Personally, I identify as an Apache helicopter. Thank you.
Oh, I'm a toaster.
Uh, Damn, don't get you near
Tactical
that.
assault toaster.
Tactical assault toaster. You
It's
just
like
come
when
in
it-
with the machine gun.
When he pops up, there's a.
No, it's just a toaster with arms. What were you saying, Tony?
Oh boy. Well, I was agreeing with you. You just when you're a toaster that pops up, an assault rifle appears.
He just like ejects from the thing. Like there's like a side panel.
Dude, you know what? If there was one appliance in the world that could be a professional assassin, it's probably a toaster.
Why a toaster? I would say a blender.
Because every time you're in the bathtub, all you have to do is fall in and they're dead.
That is true. That is true. But I was gonna say blender because like a blender actually has like blades and shit.
Bro, you gonna stuff someone's head into a blender?
No, I'm gonna pull the blades out and stab someone with
You're
it.
gonna pull a part of the. You are the blender.
I am. Oh, okay. We're doing this as if I was the appliance.
Well, then
All right.
if
Yeah.
you say that, then as a toaster, you kill yourself as soon as you walk into the water.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
good,
You're
you're
a
good.
suicide bomber in that
You're
case.
good. You're good. You'll see once you come out.
No.
All you gotta do is dry off, and you're good.
Well, yeah, but like if you're a blender, you just hit puree on that bitch and you just go wild.
Again, you're gonna fit someone's head into a blender.
The thing is, you don't have to fit someone's head into the glass. The glass is detachable, you know. The blades are always on you.
Are they?
Yeah, most blenders. Well, most blenders have like detachable blades, but like you would attach the blades to the actual like machine, and then you put the cup thing on top. You know,
Yeah.
the cup is a
Oh.
separate thing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like the machine cup and then blades.
No.
I mean, it all
Depends
comes
on your
together, but they're
blender.
detachable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. This is new information I did not know.
Well,
the appliance wars.
The appliance.
be ready. The microwave is next.
Oh,
The microwave is. Oh god, the
Bro,
microwave.
dude, the microwave would be like an overtime killer.
The microwave would be a torture device, I would say. You just stuff someone inside a microwave.
They would pop. Their head would pop.
That's a terrible way to go.
I
Excuse me?
know. Because you feel
First, you have like
feel it every
overwhelming
second.
heat, radiation. Like,
Dude, the horrible smell of burnt popcorn.
oh my god,
Well,
I don't even. This guy, hella dark.
I'm just gonna
It did.
segue into our actual topics. You know, the recent stuff that have happened recently in the gaming industry. You know what we're talking about. You guys all know. It starts with C and ends with 0.
Yeah. So an RPG that was developed by a huge name company comes out, and everybody's pissed about all the glitches that it has after being delayed multiple times. But despite all that, everyone's still playing it like it's a good game. And of course, you know what we're talking about. We're talking about Skyrim, finally released on your thermostat.
The funny part is you're fucking correct. You're right.
That's
You're right.
That's kind of the point. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make, because I've been playing Cyberpunk for a little bit now, and I haven't really seen I've basically seen the same amount of glitches as you would like from say like Fallout 76
Yeah.
or Skyrim, where yeah, there are glitches, it's there, but me personally, I haven't experienced anything like super game breaking. Like,
Yeah.
yes, the game has crashed a couple times, but nothing that really takes away from the experience too much for me, you know?
I think with the oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, I was gonna say CD Projekt Red did say they were gonna like patch out everything
Yeah,
eventually.
patched it, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of time until we get the game that everyone wants, you know?
Yeah. My thing is, right, and here's why I say gamers ain't like we don't know what we want. And this is why I say this. Every single game that has been like this big and ambitious, and actually even smaller games have come up with glitches, right?
Yeah.
It is not something we should have to deal with as consumers, but it's just at this point it's a fact of the industry. You can't catch everything before it goes public, right?
Yeah.
That like you're asking for too much. And I think the issue that happened with Cyberpunk is that we waited so long that we expected a completely polished game with like no glitches, which I mean for a game so large and the fact that it even runs on a system at all should
Yeah.
be good enough, because it's a game that at maximum, that maybe not even maximum, but like if you do everything in the game, even the side quests, gives you 500 hours of play, and you expect for there to be no glitches, you're crazy.
Exactly. And the thing is, I'm gonna play like devil's advocate here a little bit because I kind of do understand where like the detractors are coming from, and when they say like they're disappointed with the way let's say the game is, because it's a game that has been delayed for so long that it's been like 8 years in the making, and you know the while it is kind of like also due to us as consumers constantly pushing Project Red to push it out the door just so we can play it.
Yeah.
They did have 8 years to work on this, and to an extent, it kind of feels like, okay, what did you do in all that time? You know,
Sure.
because now there are like legitimate like issues other than the glitches. Like some people have reported like getting seizures because of all the flashing lights and everything that's there, and that is terrible. That is something that like should never be accepted. And I do think it is a little bit scummy how CD Projekt Red did not allow anybody to talk about like the glitches when reviewing the game before it came out. And if you use footage, you have to be using footage of the PC version. You're not allowed to be using footage of the PS4 version
Yeah.
or the console version.
Hmm.
I blame that on executives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That,
a
that,
little
that,
bit.
that came from the top.
So
Yeah.
there's two things I noticed because it was brought to my attention. Not fully sure, but I'm pretty sure it was true. So apparently they were dealing with like very very bare bones skeleton crew. Like people were leaving
Yes.
since the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
um Moon, you don't know about this, but like I actually sent um Tony a like graph like comparing how many people working on an actual game they have compared to Cyberpunk. Like for example, Assassin's Creed Odyssey had like 2,000 people working on it. I think Last of Us had 1,000. CD Projekt Red had only 500 people working on this game,
Right.
and also considering that they were like forced to work like grueling hours to like get what they need to do,
Dude,
like
yeah. They were in crunch for like a year.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
To be completely honest, I feel like the odds were stacked against them, and the fact that like we had such high expectations of that just did not help, like no
It did not.
matter what, they could have came out with the most perfect game ever, and I feel like people still wouldn't be happy with it,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
people were expecting like Jesus to come down in video game form, and it's like at the end of the day, guys, it's you need to
Yeah.
remember it's just a game. It's a
Yeah.
fun game, it's a messy game, and but it's a game nonetheless, guys.
And my thing is, and here's the sad part about it, because we're digging our own grave with this, because this is one of the last few like true single player experiences available, and companies over the years have been moving away from single player and more to microtransaction multiplayer. If you keep hating on every single player game, especially big RPGs such as this one, especially after what happened with Fallout 76, you're going to end up where no one's going to be making single player RPGs because it seems like it's just a bad bet.
Yeah, like CD
Unless you're
Projekt Red's
Nintendo.
stock is already going down, like due to just all the criticism and everything that's come. I think they like their stock went hella down
Yeah, it did.
because of this. You were gonna say something, Tony?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, unless you're Nintendo, you could still make Nintendo can always make a single player. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah,
Nintendo just has that authority, though.
yeah,
yeah, Nintendo's basically like the king of single player at this point.
yeah. And the second thing is, was it? I'm not sure if it was by you, but it was very funny because the executives were like, "Hey, you guys want to keep continuing to make this?" Oh, then they're like, "Yeah, we still want to make Cyberpunk," and then the executives threw them under the bus. I think it was you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of developers that are actually throwing like CD Projekt Red under the bus because of like how bad the working conditions were, and how they weren't able to like they had to work like 100-hour weeks. I don't know how long shifts, but like your own developers are like saying how bad like your conditions were. Like it's like, oh my god, it's such a terrible crunch is a really terrible thing
It
in the
is.
industry. And
And
it's
there's
like,
no regulations on it either.
yeah, I can't think of like a single like situation where crunch was used and it ended up actually like benefiting.
Yeah. Like
And I
to me, to avoid crunch, literally just don't set like when when they come out with these games. First, don't give a date. And don't tease the game so close. Like don't tease the game and then like, oh yeah, when people are hyped about it and wondering where it's at, like you don't have to even show the game until it's finished, right? If you
yeah
finish the game and then like tease it, you'll still get the same uh, kind of hype for the game as if it were still in development without burning your employees out.
yeah. The thing is that's kind of unrealistic to do because you can't just if someone comes up to you and like offers you a product and says like I don't know when we're gonna be able to give it to you, you wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't even like the only time that would be an issue is with stockholders. Like, oh yeah, like we need to know like what you guys are doing with our money.
Yeah.
In
Well,
which
I'm
case,
speaking
sure.
more for like from a production standpoint, because like it's like why should I work on this if like you can't even give me like a time frame of like when it'll be done? Why should I give you my money to make this thing if you don't even know how long it's going to take?
It's not a matter of like how long it's going to take. It's more like the part of the issue with like for Cyberpunk, right? Part of the issue was that they set a date. They said it will be out by X time. The game was obviously not ready for that, right? So then they kept going back with it, and the entire time people were in crunch. And like the easy solution to this was just don't even don't even reveal. I guess not reveal the game, but keep the game on the down low until you are certain that you have a product that is serviceable. Because
Yeah,
they kept hyping it up. They brought it up every now and then when they brought it up again recently, the game obviously still wasn't done, but they still showed the trailer, still got people excited, still brought out Keanu Reeves, and the game wasn't done, and people were like, "Yo, where's my game at? This is gonna be the most epic thing in the world." And then they had to delay it like 5 times when it came out. Then they're like hitting the backlash. Now, part of this, I blame this on the executives because I believe that like a lot of the times when things go wrong like this, it is not the developers. I always say that it is the people at the top because they are typically money hungry.
mhm.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like they could have saved themselves some backlash as well. You know what I mean?
Yep.
yeah, I get that. I do remember like a situation that I want to bring up. Do you guys remember the game Evolve?
I do. I love that
Yes.
game. Was so cool.
So remember how like when the game was first announced, and literally the only thing we had to go off of was a literal image that just said the word evolve and it had a monster on it, and then they already had the pre-order for it up.
Dude, exactly. It took so little effort.
Like you could pre-order the game but it's not even out yet. It's not even finished yet. All you have to
Uh,
go off of is a literal image
yeah,
of the
it,
title.
it really goes to show that like all you have to do is make something sound cool, and people will buy
Yeah,
it.
Pretty
yeah.
much. Yeah, it's very
Early
simple. All
access
you
in a
have to do
nutshell.
is like you need certain things. Uh, good design, a nice backdrop music, and a nice deep voice like Morgan. No, not Morgan Freeman. I want that's too emotional. I want like
The
actiony.
Rock.
The Rock would be good. Yeah. So he'll be like, the year is 2020,
Oh,
and
I'm
that will
already.
be the
Where's my
year.
money? I'm already gonna buy it. Already gonna buy
It's
it.
like you have a
It,
spokesperson,
or are you gonna
dramatic
take my
music.
money?
Take my money. Just go ahead. Here's
Exactly.
my shirt. I'm broke.
Futurama meme.
Bro, dude, I'm about to make us $1 million right now. 2020 simulator. Right now,
2020
we
simulator.
we just
Every
became
day is like
millionaires.
it's oh my god, that would be amazing. It's just like RNG. Like you wake up in the morning and some new version of the apocalypse is happening. Like you wake up and it's like a zombie apocalypse. Okay, what'll tomorrow bring? Meteor
Exactly.
shower. Day after
Exactly.
that, the Earth is flooding because the polar ice caps have melted.
Oh my
Dude,
god.
murder hornets.
Yo.
Murder.
Oh. Hmm.
Whatever happened to those?
I think they're like still underground.
So the thing here
Does-
is
does-
they're very. Once you figure out what the problem is with insects, there's two ways to deal with them. If it's usually how they deal with all invasive species that come from a different place and no natural predator is there. One, you bring the natural predator of the invasive species to where you brought the invasive species. Or three, if possible, just capture it or figure out a different way to deal with it and then send it back. Is pretty much how it works.
yeah, and then you look at Florida, and then we have iguanas, and it's kind of like, I guess we're not doing anything about this.
Well, iguanas live here. The problem here is we have
They're not supposed to. They're invasive.
they are?
But like,
Yes, iguanas are not native to Florida.
I thought the
They
curly
are
tail
an
lizards
actual
were.
problem. No, see,
really, I didn't know that.
Florida has lizards, right? It does have lizards, but iguanas themselves are not supposed to be here.
Oh.
If you notice, there's like nothing that actually hunts iguanas besides like dogs and cats, and they hunt anything.
And birds?
How did they get over here then?
I think they were
Ships?
brought in a ship, as most things are.
Yeah.
Actually, either that or they were pets. A lot of iguanas were pets.
I can see that.
And, similar with several snake species.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 2020 LS stands for 2020 Life Simulator. Man, that.
Bro, I would buy that right now.
You would buy it. It's like, how can I make myself depressed on this winter end of 2020 to feel better
This is
about
one of the
2021?
this is one of the apocalypses. Just you having depression.
Dude, it's like one day you just wake up depressed. You can't get out of bed. I guess I'll die
Yep.
now.
You lost your. You just wake up. You look at your phone. You've been fired from your job. Depression sets in. Survive.
Your wife is leaving you. The kids are leaving. They're crying.
Press,
Your car
rapid
has
kids are
press
leaving.
M for motivation.
Daddy, we packed our bags. We can't take it anymore.
You're 10!
Your parents are broken.
Your lack of chicky nuggets disappoints me.
Oh gosh.
Oh, no.
Oh my
Oh,
lord.
boy.
Your
What
brother
happened?
has married your wife.
My God, that would suck.
I feel like this leads
Your
You
house
off.
is
have no
being
family
foreclosed on.
anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like this leads off into like something else that kind of leads into just being sad about life, and that's the 2020 Game Awards and how nothing we've ever wanted was wanted.
Dude, you know how this game was.
I mean-
You know how these things are rigged. Freaking Animal Crossing, one of the biggest releases of this year, got cut.
Honestly, I
Literally.
think Animal Crossing was like the biggest financial success of like
Dude,
this year
Mhm.
because they came at like the perfect time.
Bro, that and Doom. Nintendo rode Animal Crossing to like for the entire year.
They were
Yeah,
so happy about it
like
too.
it just could not have come at a better time, when
So
like
Yeah,
a life simulator that's like set on a tropical like
getaway.
paradise
Hmm.
in a time where no one can leave their houses.
So
It's like the perfect setup.
so funny thing is, I've actually played the the prequel to that Animal Crossing, and I sat there and I'm like, oh snap! They released it early from wherever it was sitting, because what happened was, usually with Animal Crossing, you have all those monthly events already in the game. There's no waiting for it to come to that month and they update it. No, it's already in the game. So my thing here is, what they did was release it early, and then as the months went by, they're like, here's new content. Here's new content. You can't get bored of the game if I keep giving you new content every month with an update. And I thought that was the most genius play Nintendo has ever done in like quite a while.
Yeah.
honestly. What are they fucking? Sorry, as I message. My bad.
No, you're good.
Hmm.
Um, One good thing did come out of the Game Awards.
Which
Oh.
was
Sephiroth in Smash, baby,
that
let's
is true.
go!
Yo, I haven't gotten a chance to play him. I have the DLC pack, but I've watched the videos. The dude's sword range is so
Yeah,
broken.
he's so much fun. Like, oh my
Oh my
god,
god.
like just for like the fact of like just playing such an objectively like flashy as fuck character, like, oh my god, like I've said it before, like I'm a huge Persona 5 fan, and Joker's moveset is like so boring. Like, oh my god, they gave him the most basic shit. You picked the flashiest game and made like the most boring character like move list wise. But then you have Sephiroth and he has like all this like flashy shit, like whether regardless of whether or not they're good moves or not, they just look so like freaking
Dude,
cool.
the
Yeah,
combos with him. Like I was watching. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tony.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, that's a thing they always did. They always sucked at the moves list and making characters boring, which is why projects like Project M exist. That was my
Yeah,
yeah.
I was. Pretty good.
I mean, it's
I
still a
was
fun
watching.
character.
Yeah,
Did
right.
you see like there's actually a Kickstarter for someone's making like Super Smash Flash, I think,
That's normal.
and it's like a
That's
Kickstarter
gonna
game,
take.
and it's gonna have like super polished and everything.
Yeah, Nintendo's not gonna let that happen.
Yeah.
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 It's actually really sad. I don't know if you guys watched Game Theory, but I was watching on this video about like how Scott Coffin, is like basically shelling out money to help indie creators like make Five Night games. So like they're not necessarily spin-offs, but like they're just like they take the Five Nights at
Fun
Freddy's
games.
formula and like re-innovate it, right?
Right.
And so Matt Pat was like, yeah, like this is actually a really smart move because you're spreading your
Influence.
brand around. And now
Mhm.
people are coming to your brand. They're buying your products, and the entire time, like you as your IP is growing, and basically Nintendo does the exact opposite of that because every single fan game that looks like it will be somewhat of competition, even if it's free, like Pokemon Uranium,
Oh my god,
that
dude.
that game they worked on for years, a fantastic game, and it was canceled by Nintendo via lawsuit because they were scared that it would take away from their profits. So now like that's why Nintendo has like the worst modding community. There's like no indie support for them. There a lot of their
Yeah.
stuff like Pokemon, a lot of their IPs are slowly dying
Hashtag
because
free melee.
yeah. Dude, Melee, yeah, they're trying to cancel Melee. And Melee
Yep.
in unofficial Melee tournaments,
Oh my
they
god.
hate it.
No,
And
no, no,
it's
no,
like
no. They
why?
have
Like
it's a very backwards, double standard, backhanded thing because they're like, oh yeah, melee. Well, I love the idea that you support Smash. You're supporting the old Smash. I need you to support the new Smash, guys. Come over here. It's like, yes, keep supporting Smash, but support the new Smash. Don't go back to the old, the new one.
but they were
Yeah.
cool
Little
with
number,
like it being an Evo for so many years,
yeah. not to mention that like literally the people paid for the game already.
Yeah.
Like they bought the game and like you should be allowed to organize with a game however you see fit.
I
Like you
mean,
don't need
were they even like profit tournaments? Like, were they even like cash prizes or anything like that?
Well,
I some of a lot of them were, but the thing is, it's kind of like what they didn't like were like a lot of the unofficial tournaments. But the issue is that when you come in and you say, "Hey, I know you have bought the game already. You have put time into learning this game, and you like the game, but because you are setting up your own personal event with your own system and your own copy of the game, I don't like that. You got to shut that down." That I don't believe is or should be allowed because you've already put in
Mhm.
your money to the company. The company now has no, unless you are saying that this is your product, you are not using the game in any incorrect way, then they should have no say in, oh, yeah, you cannot sit with your friends and have a tournament with 100
Yeah,
people, $20 on the line. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, that
makes
should
sense, I
not
guess.
be in their
Yeah, like
Yeah, there's a lot of
it's kind of like if I buy a candy bar, the company is not gonna let me split it in half to share it with my friends.
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna
which
say
I would like to preface that like I'm not an expert on like the gaming industry or how any of the logistics or legality issues work like that, but it's more of like a principle kind of thing, like what are you gaining from doing this?
Nothing. They just
You're
upset their own
actually you lose
fans.
you're not going to make
profits.
money over Melee. You can't sell the game anymore because it's on a console that nobody has anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's if anything, having people like still able to play it drums up business for you. Like
Right?
that's free advertising right there.
Because actually you had to buy a Wii to get Project M because it updated. So you actually had to have a Wii to play Project M, and subsequently, I said that wrong. Subsequently, you had to get a Wii U to play a Project M. So over time, you just had to keep having the new system to play Project M, so you're still getting the money that you required.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
like it's still baffling to me because it's like you gain nothing from this. You're literally just shooting yourself in the foot for no personal gain whatsoever.
Yeah. It's
Shoot.
really sad too because Nintendo used to be like the leader of I won't say indie games, but like they were the odd kid out,
They were
you
like the
know?
example.
And now like yeah. So like back in the day when like the console wars first started, this is especially prevalent with the Wii. Nintendo was very not open to modding because they never have been, but they were very as you just say a lot more lenient with how they handled how people used their IPs. So like a lot more Pokemon games were allowed, ROM hacks were allowed. Um, People were allowed to make the tournaments how they wanted, and it came about because they just weren't as like successful or well known, and people kind of associated like I guess freedom with Nintendo,
Yeah.
and now it's gone to the point where like some people like for instance me, I I don't like the new games. Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield were
Oh,
trash to me. I
kind of boring.
hate them.
Oh
But
my god.
like,
Pokemon in general has just been really on the decline for me personally.
Mm.
dude, honestly, to me, I would be happy if they went back to the 2D model. I think that's where Pokemon shined. But
Oh well,
um,
it's just not that. Obviously, just changing the art
yeah,
style
No,
isn't
it's
gonna
I think
not.
fix a
it's
million of the problem with the game.
Not even the art stuff, but like the old stories. Like to me, X and Y were the last good Pokemon games.
right. It's the
Personally,
story behind it. It's like they
yeah,
forgot the whole point of Pokemon. It wasn't just catching Pokemon and exploring. It I mean, it was that. But you also had like background to the characters. Now you're just staring, you're like, "Oh, character."
dude.
Yeah,
Dude, don't listen. You're talking to a Pokemon vet here. I can go on a 1 hour tangent about why
yeah,
Pokemon sucks.
Yeah, we don't have
dude.
time
Like,
for
Like
that.
Pokemon isn't the thing as I was gonna bring up is like would it be like bad to say that I think Nintendo should start appealing more to like the older generation rather than the newer generation. Because I don't
We're
know if
looking
Pokemon
at
is that really popular with like kids anymore.
it's honestly it's not, and that's the sad part. Because for instance, here's the issue, and here I learned this not too long ago. Nintendo, the majority of their profits, right, from Pokemon IP does not come from the game. Now, this might not surprise anybody.
It comes from merchandising.
It comes from merchandise, specifically the card game. And the issue with the card game is that none of these little rugrats running around, they don't go to the corners to their local Target, go and look at it and say, "Ooh, I want Pokemon." No, they don't say that. Like, and even if they do, they don't stay because despite the fact that Pokemon is easier to learn than like Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh, it the initial setup of like learning what to do is not as obvious.
Well, I think
So
that's mostly just due to like kids, being more into
yeah,
electronics than general toys nowadays.
yeah, that's also part of the reason. But like when I was a kid, and because as a kid I bought all the cards because I thought they were cool, right? I stuck with Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic because I saw little numbers on the corners. I read the words and I was like, okay, this makes sense. I can do this. I picked up Pokemon. I didn't even know what the energy card was for until I was in middle school, right? So the people who are honestly buying and playing their games, like going to the tournaments, who keep buying all these expensive cards, who actually care about the rarity of their card,
Yep,
are the older generation, the one that grew up with it.
Yeah, in fact,
And they keep making their game
yeah, in
appeal
fact,
to the younger generation. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I was just
Oh, I'll be
gonna,
yeah, back.
yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's funny because they keep remaking the first generation of Pokemon so that the new generation of kids can, jump on the bandwagon. But you get all these people who are like, hey, come on, Gen 4, that was the beginning of storytelling in Pokemon. I mean, you had storytelling, but this was storytelling in Pokemon. Like, and everyone's like, bring that back. You're failing here. Listen to us. We're telling you, we would buy a Gen 4 remake.
Exactly, dude. Honestly, here's my thing when it comes to that, right? The fixes that they have to make are so simple because they keep adding new stuff in to make it more accessible, and I understand that. Like for instance, they're making getting EVs and IVs, which like a lot of people don't even know about. They made that so much easier. Breeding so much easier. But the thing is, I'm the kind of person that like I'll go into like an online match using the team I went through the game with, you know. So, but to get to that point, I have to be enjoying the base game. The problem is the base game itself, which you have to complete in order to do all this awesome stuff, is horrible. It is far too easy, far too handholdy, and there's no mystery, there's no wonder, there's no discovery anymore. There's like no nail biting situations where like you don't know if you're going to win or lose. The intensity is gone, and I can't even say that it's because I've gotten older because even with the younger generation, the game is meant to hold their hand, right? If
Yeah.
to me, if there was a version of Pokemon that just said, "Hey, for all you veterans out there, here's what we're gonna do. You items drop 50% less. You get 25% less money. You get like 10% less XP, and like now like Nuzlocke rules, all that stuff. Like if that was in the game, oh my, I would play it every single
Because the
day.
challenge.
And yeah, there's no challenge. And if there's no challenge, right? If the gameplay itself is not appealing, which it's not, it hasn't been for years. If the gameplay itself is not appealing, then you have to add in other factors. Right? What's the other factor? It's the story. But the stories are garbage too. Sun and Moon's story, honestly, it could have been fantastic. I actually enjoyed the story somewhat, but the
Mm-hmm.
gameplay was trash and the
Yeah.
story was super long, and you couldn't like. Not that I have a problem with the long story, but you couldn't skip any of the cutscenes. They all were they like they kept talking and talking about stuff you didn't care about. Like it had its issues, right? And then Sun and Moon's even worse because they'll talk to you for 5 seconds and then tell you to go to the next city. Literally, Sun and Moon's entire story is just go to each city, beat the trainers, and oh, guess what? The guy you thought was a good guy is actually evil. That is the entire story. And you can say, well, that's every Pokemon game. But no, that's not every Pokemon game because there was stuff in the middle to do. There was like places to explore. There were like side quests that were happening constantly. The like the evil organization was like in your face. You actually had like a reason to go fight them from the beginning. You know, like for instance, Diamond and Pearl. Diamond and Pearl are like maybe because it's my first game that I ever played. But Diamond and Pearl to me was perhaps the epitome of Pokemon. Right? Let's take the bad guys. You just beat the first gym. You're on your way back to Celestial City to like see what's going on, and immediately you run into Team Galactic. They're trying to steal your friend's Pokemon. Already, you don't like these guys. There's no, and that sets up the story for the rest of the game where you are constantly running into these people, and they were kind of funny, but they were also a threat, and they're a problem you actively want to get rid of. You never run into that anywhere else in these other games. Maybe Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, maybe, but
nope. Take that back. Not that one.
Yeah. To me, and let's not even talk about like the power up system. Oh my god. To me, I would have stopped at Mega Evolution. I think Mega Evolution was maybe not the best balanced thing competitive wise, but with some tweaking, it could have been fine. And I personally love Mega Evolution. Z crystals and like Dynamax, which is basically Mega Evolution and Z crystals thrown together. I can't stand it. It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, that one's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, if I couldn't stop with Mega Evolution and I went to Z Crystals, I would have been fine with just Mega Evolution everywhere else and then Z Crystals just there because that was literally the story's plot. Was, oh yeah, Z Crystals, that's how we respect it. It had something to do with Mega Evolution, but it didn't really have a lot. But I feel like
it's really dumb.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's really dumb that like these power ups are region locked because part of their explanation of how these things go is that if you go to a new region, like these mechanics just don't work in other regions, and I'm like, what do you mean they don't work? If you take a Mega Crystal and you go to Kalos, it'll still work. You know, if you take a Z Crystal and you go to Kalos, it'll still work. You know, Dynamaxing, I can understand because there are only specific points in the new region that you can Dynamax, but that they put that in there for plot reasons, and so that they have an excuse to get rid of it later.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And it still doesn't make sense because the region after Mega Evolution was introduced, what happened? Yeah, the region after Mega Evolution was introduced, which was Sun and Moon's region, they had Mega Evolution in that. Like at the very end of the game, you can go and get the Mega Stones and use them. So it's kind of like, what was the point of locking them out of the game only to give it to us later if they're supposed to be region locked?
Well, my guess here is we're also going on a tangent, but I'm gonna finish this right here. My guess here is the fact that Z crystals are probably Mega Stones, just formed differently because of geography, which is why Pokemon there also form differently there. Take the Ninetales version. It's an ice type because of geography reasons. So my guess is the Mega Stones, because of geography reasons, I'm giving Nintendo an out, turned into Z crystals.
I guess, yeah.
Right. And I just want to talk a little bit more about Sephiroth because we kind of did just... The man has the long sword and we were just like, yeah, that's over.
Yeah, we did.
Right. Now, I actually did play the challenge. Did you play the challenge over there, Mr.
Not yet. I need to. I can do it right now if you want.
No, I meant him, the other one. The one that actually...
He's right here. He's like...
Oh, I thought that was you that left.
No,
Hey.
I mean I started off with that, but then like
Oh,
he actually
oh,
left
okay.
the
Well,
home.
here's the
I
thing.
don't know where it went.
Oh my god, you. So, I'm a spoil how the battle works because it's basically just a fight, just a smash fight.
Yeah,
But
I've seen the fight. I've seen the fight.
oh, okay, so it's a stamina battle, and each tier
Yeah,
gives them 50 more health. So easy 100, normal 150, very hard 200. I was like, you know what? I'm not a chicken. Straight into very hard. I took God with me. I was like, Pichu, let's go, God. And then I didn't know it was a stamina battle. So I walk in there and I'm like,
uh,
this sucks.
uh,
Because I'm fighting a character that I don't know about with a character that hurts itself. And I was like, why you gotta be
yeah.
like that? That was a horrible fight. And then I went to Isabel and I just started yanking. I was like, whoosh, whoosh, fishing rod.
I saw someone describe Sephiroth.
Oh,
I saw
well,
someone describe Sephiroth as better Byleth.
I can see that. He's got the range for it. He doesn't have to go towards you. He just fucking stabs you from afar. He's just like,
Yeah. As you know, I like Byleth a lot, but I think Byleth is not a good character. They have a lot of problems.
yeah. I
So
can.
I'm gonna when Sephiroth, I'm gonna try it out and hopefully, like that can be my second main besides Lucina.
I would say it's the speed aspect for Byleth because only the
Dude, yeah,
axe, only the
oh,
axe should take a while. Everything else shouldn't really take a while on that.
it's not even that because their attacks are way too long.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, the hammer, the Byleth's hammer, it is so hard to actually connect that. The reason, like I don't know if you know this, like last time I was fighting with Byleth, I used only their air attacks because those are just the fastest moves
Yeah.
she has.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is just way too slow. So like I'm not saying make her faster because obviously she's a very powerful character in terms of damage, but like you like speed up the attacks a bit. You know, like it just feels slightly off. Like it's a little too slow. Nothing happens when you want it to.
Right.
Even if that comes in a damage reduction, I'll take a damage reduction to speed her up. You know.
Uh huh. Now, I will
Yeah.
admit that people are saying Sephiroth was a waste of a character space, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, anime antagonist with a long sword and is basically God in Japan. Everywhere else makes sense. I can see why. Everywhere else, it's kind of like having
Yeah.
the Fire Emblem thing again, where in Japan they're popular. Everywhere else they're not so popular, which is why everywhere else is like, what's going
Yeah.
on? Why we have these characters? But most people forget
I
this is a Japan company supporting mostly Japan people and not so much other people. But you get the point.
right. I would say, um, I think I don't think Sephiroth was a waste of a character slot. Personally, I think that he would be a waste if he was a bad character, right?
Uh-huh.
But he is a Fire Emblem. Not Fire Emblem. Sorry, he's a Final Fantasy character, which goes like we only have one, and so a lot of characters, most characters have multiple. Sorry, most genres have multiple characters from the same games. If there's one available, Uh, so that now there's two Final Fantasy, so that makes sense. He's a good character. He's a cool character, which even though it's not in Japan, there are plenty of people who know of Sephiroth in other places, especially with the recent Final Fantasy remake game that came out, well, at least the first part of it.
Yep.
So it's not like it's a complete waste. Now,
Yep.
it'll be a waste of the character if it's just like Game and Watch Part 2, like some random obscure character that no one's ever played before.
Well, game.
But we were
Yeah,
given.
I get you.
Sorry?
I was just gonna say Game and Watch is like a nod to their history, so which is why no one, like, oh, it's Game and Watch. Oh, it's Rob.
Yeah, that's just an example. Like for instance, like there's a nod to their history, but I don't know who the hell Game and Watch is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just the choice could have been worse. It really could have been, and it's not like he's even a bad character to play. He's fun. So it's kind of like, what are you complaining for? When people say, "Oh, that's just a waste of a character slot," what that says to me is there's a character that they would have rather have had that wasn't picked, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, well, we've been doing this for like what 2 years now, where like we've had to deal with the characters we want not getting picked. Waluigi, for instance, never making it into Smash.
Never.
So it's kind of like, why are you guys salty when like there's so many different options to be picked? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I hear you. I hear you.
Doom. There was the thing, right, where we talked about this earlier. How when what was that thing called, when Animal Crossing came out,
Yeah.
like how it was super popular and like it came at a perfect time. Well, similarly, at the same time, Doom came out. Doom Eternal,
Yeah.
great game. Um, and there was a lot of talk about how Doom Guy should be in Smash as a character, right? And there were a few problems with that. He comes from a particularly gory game with perhaps not the most uh, family friendly themes, but he's still a very popular character. He's well liked. He has a lot of history. Um, and people were like, "Oh, Adelman as a character, and he wasn't added in," and a lot of people were mad. Um, so then they added him in as a Mii fighter. They give him clothes, and it's kind of like that's just how it has to be. Like, you will not always get what you want, but that's just life.
Yeah, man.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah. So we're just talking about how everyone is pretty much depressed in like communities when they can't get the character they wanted because some people
Oh
say
yeah.
Sephiroth's a wasted character and they could just be
I don't
like
think he's a
sad.
wasted character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think he's a wasted character because he was a character that like a lot of people like were really hyped for, like really wanted. He's a very popular character. I know people are pissed because it's like another anime sword fighter.
Mm.
But here's the thing: you got to understand, he's the anime sword fighter. All right, he's the one that started the trope.
This is true. He did. Everyone
He
that came
he's the
behind him.
reason that animes have like giant swords in them.
Can't go wrong with the
He
giant sword.
he is the anime swordsman.
He truly is. Oh my god. We can also feel a little bit sad about let's go down the list of characters that will never get into Smash, but we are kind of sad. Gino.
Thank God, I really didn't want Gino in Smash. I'm just so tired of hearing about Gino in
The problem
Smash.
here is you would have to have played Super Mario RPG from the Nintendo 64 era, if I'm not mistaken. And let's point it out. How much of the generation from from the 2000s would know who Gino is? And even then, half the people from the 90s who were born in the 90s don't even know who Gino is because they've never played that game. Yeah, so they wouldn't people that of the 90s wouldn't even know. So, Gino.
Yeah, it's like, so who would Gino like being in Smash please? Well, I guess like the people that really care about like the DLC characters are also the people who you know are huge fans of Nintendo and probably play like every Mario game or whatever. And I get that it would please a lot of people, but me personally, I'm just not. I'm just so tired of like all the things about like Gino being in Smash and everything.
Mhm. Just
all right, I'm back.
no problem. We're just talking about the people that will never be in Smash and wrapping it up, pretty much. Yeah,
Waluigi will never.
never because you
But
gotta understand, Waluigi is third party. He's never been, actual Nintendo. He's been Nintendo games, but he's third party character. So while we love the guy, I don't see him happening in our future. I'm just saying.
I mean, he's already been confirmed. He's a Mii fighter.
He is?
Yeah, he's a Mii costume, isn't he?
I don't remember that.
Thought he was. Anyways, my question to you guys is like, who would you guys want to be in Smash? Because I think we have like 2 DLC fighters to go.
Yeah, we
Who
do.
would I want to be? Hmm. You know, I actually haven't thought of that. You know what? I actually want Sakurai to be in the game.
Sakurai himself.
As
Like, as
the
a character,
final
yeah.
As a
character,
character.
or as a boss character, like we have
As
Master
an
Yi.
The thing is, that would fit in so well and not fit in at all at the same time.
As an actual character.
Well, how would he play?
So I'm imagining him like so what the way I'm thinking about it is like he takes like different what should we call it? Like the original cast of characters from like Melee. He has like one skill from each of them. So like maybe he has like Captain Falcon's like side B. He has like Pikachu's like neutral B, like stuff like that, you know? And like he did in that's just how he plays. He's an amalgamation of different characters. Or you can go the route of like where it's more game developer-y. So like maybe he can shut like his side B would be like him like bringing out a table and working on a desk, or like his up smash can be like him producing the Smash Brothers like game.
Throws copies of Kirby at you of random like Nintendo games that he's worked on as his
Exactly.
neutral B.
Dude, it'll be. I think it'd be a cool idea. This one like an homage to him. If we're talking about a game character, I was talking about her earlier, Doom guy. I wouldn't mind seeing as an actual character. Maybe also Halo, Master Chief. I wouldn't mind either.
I definitely could see Master Chief being in there just just as another Microsoft representative.
Yeah.
I honestly think that we should just have a Sony reference, like I mean a Sony character, as just to like round everything out. Because
Yeah.
I think that's the only like major company that we don't have at the moment.
Like, I think the issue is like I don't know if like Sony has like also does Sony own Capcom?
Ooh. Oh.
Sony owns Cap. I don't think so. I think that Capcom is just its own thing.
Okay.
Right.
Because otherwise, I kind of can't think of many. Because I know Sony has its own fighting game, like its own like series. So I
Yeah, and it bombed.
Dude, they're still alive.
What do you mean it's still alive? Are
Oh,
you talking about PlayStation All
Station
Stars?
All Stars.
Like, no, I was talking like Blaze Blue and stuff like that. Isn't that
Oh,
theirs?
okay. That makes
Oh
more
yeah, well,
sense.
Blaze Blue is like an anime fighting game. That's
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
very
oh.
niche, thing.
Yeah, they have Blaze Blue. They have Mortal Kombat. So like they have a few characters
Yeah,
already.
but that's not really Sony. Like Blaze Blue is Arc System Works. Those are like third party companies.
I
I'm
guess.
talking about like Sony like representative. So
Who-
I would say
who-
like Sly Cooper, Spyro,
Oh, that's
Crash
old.
Bandicoot.
You know what?
Yeah.
They actually never did that. That would have been actually better than PlayStation All Stars was pretty good. Could have been better. Probably should have used more characters, if anything, to represent.
The thing is, it was like more of a commercial than it was like an actual game.
Mm-hmm.
And like for example, I remember that like they didn't have Dante in the game. They had new Dante. They had DMC reboot Dante.
Yeah.
And this was before the reboot came out.
I think Sly Cooper or Spyro, now that you mention it, would be pretty good fits. More Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, Ratchet and Clank would be good. They're another character that like they had another game, just come out.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that actually looks pretty good. Crash Bandicoot, is that Sony?
Crash Bandicoot is
Crash Bandicoot, yeah, it's Sony.
Came out with
Like they
PlayStation.
could make like Ratchet and Clank like a whatchamacallit? A Echo Fighter.
Yeah, or like, well, I don't think they'll. I don't think that they'll make an Echo Fighter as a DLC character just because
Yeah.
like they don't want to disappoint. Because how disappointing would it be if like the last like DLC character rather than being a completely new character was like a copy of Mario or something like that.
True.
That's how they're gonna bring in Waluigi. He's gonna be the last Echo Fighter. It's just gonna be like,
Yeah.
well, you wanted this, and it's just Mario's moveset.
Yeah, I said Echo Fighter mostly because like just to make it easy. But like
Yeah.
personally, if they were like their own character, that'd be pretty good too.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely gonna be their own character. Now, me personally, if I had a choice, I would want Sly Cooper or Dante from Devil May Cry.
Doesn't Naughty already have a game like a fighting game?
Not that PlayStation All Stars.
Well, I mean, like he's in a fighting, not PlayStation.
Oh well, he's in Marvel vs. Capcom 3
Yeah.
and Infinite. Well, we don't talk about it. We don't talk about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
You see it happen.
We don't talk about that game. My friend Mikael, he really wants Monster Hunter in that game because he's a huge fan of Monster Hunter. But
Monster Hunter should be a character, actually. Thank you.
yeah, and they're actually coming out with a new Monster Hunter game on this that's only on Switch. So
like I said, boys, when that game comes out, I need y'all to hard carry me.
to be honest, I'm not the biggest Monster Hunter fan. I feel like
Same.
it just goes on for like the actual fights. Like to me, aren't interesting. Like they just go on for too long, and I feel like I'm just mashing the button, just waiting for it to die.
We kind of are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a button masher. A really
It's
weird
a
button
button
masher.
masher grindy game, but I think it's mostly just like the progression that keeps you going.
Yeah, and I think it also has to do with like the fact that you need to play it with friends.
Yeah, if you play it by yourself, it has to be boring.
It is.
Yeah.
I tried playing that demo.
To an extent.
Oh my god, I can't.
Like, oh my god. Especially like, and the story isn't really like there for anything either. Like, it's a good story. It's not the main focus of the game.
Mhm.
Like, because the point of the game really is just to like make an armor set and then play online with friends, like hunting down like really hard monsters and doing challenges and stuff like that. That's the point of the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, kind of is because like there's that whole it's a loop, you know, like kill a monster, get the armor, build the armor, fight a new monster, kill the armor, kill the monster, get the armor, you
Kill
know,
the armor.
do it all over again.
Mm.
Yeah.
Murder
Kill
the
the
armor,
armor.
stab the armor,
Exactly.
start a
Kill the armor.
family,
Armor.
get healthy, start a family, eat carrots, go to school, start a family.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well-
The thing is, like, it just like I didn't see the point of it after all. It's like, why am I doing this? It's just an endless cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna say, guys, thank you so much for being here, and thank you, audience, for listening. That's about as much time as we have today because we have actually exceeded the limit that I was told to go by the corporate. Corporate, why didn't you stop me? Well, this has been Celestales. I'm your host, Tony.
Oh yeah. This is your boy Moon. See y'all later.
You gotta warn us, like, there's no cue.
I don't have.
Okay, this
does
is
it
where
look
you
like I
guys
have a
take it.
button for a cue? Does it look like I'd be like, this is your host Tony, and these are these guys, and then you still.
Our budget.
Because how are we supposed to know that's our cue to like? That's our cue to like
Patreon,
stop.
subscribe to the channel, please. We need to buy a button for our outro.
Buy me a sound deck. Great, guys. But
It's
yes,
like
this has
we're
been-
just gonna be like on the street, like holding up a sign that just says "need button" for Q button.
Oh boy. Alright, guys, this is Celestales. This has been your host, Tony, and these guys are also going to say goodbye.
I'll see y'all later. It's your boy Moon.
Bye.